They told us to give a disclaimer. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the podcasters, any guests, and do not reflect any of the management, owners, sponsorships, or employees of thereof. Pretty much, if you're soft, don't listen to this podcast.
One thing I pride myself on is just being the same and trying to look out for my folks along the way.
Like, even with all these, big things happening, like, you still mad humble, and you still, like, you have enough clout now where you could easily be like, I'm not fucking with this, I'm not fucking with that.
Oh yeah, motherfuckers, it's on.
Unrestricted Podcast listeners, thank you so much for clicking play. Because of you, those numbers are going up, and up. If you want to help support this show, help keep the lights on in this place, head on over to patreon.com/DreRocka, DRERAWKA. We have tons of content up there, exclusive content you can't get anywhere else. And if you want to help by buying a t-shirt, maybe a sweater, you can head over to allrock.com, ALLRAWK.com. But I know it's hard out here sometimes. So if you don't want to make a monetary donation or a monetary purchase, you can also share, like, comment, subscribe. It's free to show love. Now, today I got a very special guest across from me. Somebody that I met at a cool gig. We did a gig at yoga. What was it? Yoga?
Yeah, it was for Yoga Forward last year, and I was up at the Rice Cycle Stadium at the U.
Well, they Yoga Forward. They did yoga on the field at the U of U. I got DJ Afrolicious in the building. Now, you obviously you're DJ.
Yep.
But you are pro wrestler as well?
Yeah, pro wrestler, game designer. I do a lot of stuff, man.
I want to start where I got to know you, which is the music. Afrolicious. I seen your name and I was like, nah, if the DJ don't got an afro, we're gonna have a problem. But I walked up and you had the fro going. I was like, yeah, that's my guy. So let's I want to start off with you're not originally from Utah, right?
No, I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, born and raised, baby.
Shout out to the Suns, I guess.
Yeah, they're doing all right. They're doing okay. They're doing okay.
You can't even say Sun Devils because you're a Ute, right?
Nah, I can't rock with that, man. I'm a Ute.
Same conference, though, aren't you guys? Or were?
Yeah. I mean, credit to them. ASU did pretty good this year. Utes gotta rebuild a little bit, but I'm still gonna be. I'm a lot of. Okay, yeah, I'm being a little generous with that one, but. I'm still gonna be rocking with them. So that's my alma mater now.
So originally from Arizona, Phoenix, you end up coming to school out here. Did you start your collegiate career in Utah?
Yeah. So like I said, born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. So I went to high school and everything out there. But I really moved out here to go to school up at the University of Utah. Then I was there for 4 years. Graduated last year in game design, and yeah.
So you went to school for game design?
Oh yeah, for sure.
What made you go that direction? Were you always wanted to be a game developer?
Yeah. So it's been like one of my longtime goals, probably since I was like a sophomore in high school. So for a while, and when I was like doing research back in high school for like which college I wanted to go to, I came across the University of Utah, and they have like one of the top programs in the nation for the EAE. And I just knew, I was like, oh yeah. Once I got here, I toured the space. I was like, oh yeah, for sure, I'm gonna have to be here.
That's awesome. Did you grow up a gamer?
Oh yeah. For me, like when I started gaming when I was like 6 or something like that, with starting with like a PS2, and I was just playing a whole bunch of different games. Like I used to play like a lot of those like SpongeBob games, which is like super niche stuff, but I really enjoyed it. That like obviously like wrestling games, NBA 2K, some Madden was also part of that mix.
Yeah, man, back in the day. So your introduction was a PS2, you said?
Yeah.
My introduction was Atari. Man, we had Pong.
That was my dad too.
That was dang man, you just aged me. You just aged me a lot. It's I think that this is the cool thing about like my generation is that like we get like the Pong, but then we also get like the Fortnite. Yeah. My son right now is just killing it on Fortnite. Yeah. I get on with him. I don't get one kill, but he's over there. He got like 47 kills. I'm like, dang man, like you're killing it. So did you ever play Spyro?
No, I never actually played Spyro.
No,
there's
Banjo-Kazooie?
There's honestly so many games that I haven't even touched yet. That's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. But yeah.
So you fall in love with games. You're like, yo, I want to learn how to. Is it so? Do you make the game or like what's What'd you go to school specifically for to create games?
Yeah, so my discipline was under design, so it's kind of like in between art and programming. So I specifically focused on like systems and level design, so that being like designing the levels and then basically just how they interact with the player, how they interact with the environment. So that was kind of like just my main emphasis.
I was watching a documentary on, was it Kong or Tetris? It was one of those games.
I think it was there's a Tetris one I remember from a couple years ago, and that one was talking about like the Russian guy who made it, and it's like a pretty crazy story.
And how the way he made it almost made it impossible to beat, but there was a formula that was made to where people could actually beat this game. Mm-hmm. That's what you do, right? As far as like the difficulty of the levels.
Yeah. In some ways, like that's kind of more of like a puzzle. It could be like a puzzle design, like it's like for Tetris. But for me, like I had a capstone game. It was called Hell of a Racket, free on Steam, by the way. And for that one, I just like designed like the arena that it was in, and then basically how things would like transition, how they interacted with the enemies, where the enemy's going to be at, where are they going to be where they're going to be placed, how they're going to interact, where the player can and can't go, and stuff like that. So just kind of creating the boundaries for the game.
What does it take to create a game from start to finish, and how many people are on your team to create a game?
It really varies. So I know for the EAE, like the capstone, I can't speak for like the master's program, but typically like it has like about like 20 some people. So it's like artists, programmers, designers, and then you have a couple other people that do like animation and like music and sound. So it really kind of is like a team collaboration. So everybody has like a role, a responsibility, and you all just kind of have to work together to be able to put all the pieces together. And you kind of just start from like creating some type of foundation, creating some test stages, and then from there kind of just progress over time.
Will you your thing keeps on rubbing on your beard, your coat. I just want the audio. I don't want people like, what the static? That's good. That's perfect.
There we go.
So start to finish, about 20 people. It's a lengthy process. Is it hard to work on a game that you don't believe in or that you don't love?
Yeah, I would say so. I was fortunate enough to actually like all the games that I've made, but definitely it's definitely a lot of effort to put into it. So if you're not like motivated, it's not really super fun in that aspect, and it kind of just makes it more of like a draining process, more of like a boring job than it is like an actual passion. So yeah.
Did you end up getting a career outside of with your diploma from the U of U? Are you working with a gaming company now or anything like that?
No, not at the moment. But what I'm trying to focus on is just making my own like independent game. So at the moment, I've been working on it for about a year, and it's an iOS game, or a game that I'm building for iOS. It's called New Choice, and it's basically like a multiplayer improv game where you could just like act out different scenarios with like your friends and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool. So more of a community type of game, like a game that you would have like around the table, dinner table or whatever. Party.
Yeah, for sure. And the point of it is for it to be like, because it's an improv based game, but you don't have to be good at improv to play it. So it's mostly supposed to be like a family friendly game, to where everybody can play that, whether you like can do improv or whether you cannot, you can still have fun doing it.
What's the challenge of going the independent route?
The challenge, I mean, obviously, money, budget is going to be a tough one because it's just going to be all funded by me. Mm-hmm. So it's just really kind of making sure you can allocate the funds to like do the marketing and some of the other things that go into the back end. And then obviously just time, because for this one, it's doing everything from like the programming, the art, design. So it's just a big time investment more than anything. In terms of just like getting all the features that you want to in and doing it in a good amount of time.
Is there a dream game that you would want to develop?
I mean, for me, it's always been a real big goal for me to do like the WWE games, or even just like a wrestling video game would be like, if I had the chance to do that, that'd be great.
How would you want to do it? Would you want to do it like obviously big box, like Xbox, PlayStation type of route, or would you want to do like a mobile type of game?
I haven't really thought about mobile too much, to be honest, but I think console would be the way that I'd want to go, whether it be like PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and it really just doesn't matter whether again it's like WWE or if it's I know there's a bunch of different other like little wrestling games like Fire Pro, the Wrestling Code. I think it's still in development, but that one has like a pretty solid foundation. So it's really just kind of being able to do just a pro wrestling video game.
Does the University of Utah still have a gaming team?
Yeah, they do.
Esports
Yeah,
team?
they have an esports team.
Did you ever apply or try out for that?
No, I didn't. But I had a couple friends that didn't. They're a really, really solid team.
I feel like every time I talk, because I used to work with the Utah Jazz Gaming guys for a couple years, and they said that the University of Utah has a really good like gaming program.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the esports team, and then like with developing actual games. Was there any notable games that has came out of Utah that has been worked on here?
Good question, actually. I'd have to refer to like I'm sure all my professors probably know a little more than that, but I know in my class there were quite a few games that like really killed it. I know there's a game called Wretched Depths. They absolutely killed it. They got a couple like indie game awards out of it. Another one called Your Average Bear. They got like a nice like Polygon article out of it. So there's definitely been like a good amount of like indie games that have gotten a little bit of press, but otherwise I'm honestly not too sure.
They every time I used to work at a club called Circle Lounge on Third West and like State Street, and right on the corner there was an EA Games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was the EA Games building. Do you remember seeing that, Waldo? The EA Games logo right on the corner by the old Circle Lounge by the Jackalope. Yeah, I was like, dang, so EA Sports' headquarters is here? I don't know if they were or not.
I don't know if they do anymore, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because we grew up on EA Sports.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
in the game. Like,
Yeah.
iconic. Okay, so you did the gaming. You're developing your own stuff. Where did you fall in love with pro wrestling?
Oh, yeah, I'll probably just tell the short story of that, but I got into it when I was around 10 or 11, and it was on this trip to New York, and in that trip to New York, me and my dad went to this big old Toys R Us they used to have down in Times Square, and they had a...
Hold on, 1 minute silence for Toys R Us. All right, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name? Jerry the Giraffe?
I forget.
Like
It's been years,
yeah.
But yeah, essentially they had the one game WWE All Stars and demoed at the Toys R Us, and I just happened to be playing it when I was there, and I was just like obsessing over it. I was like, yo, this game is awesome, man. I literally went back to Toys R Us like 3 days in a row just to keep playing, just to play that demo. And from after that, and even I was like beating dudes that were like their demo, like playing the demo with me because they saw me playing. They're like, "Oh, let me jump on this kid," and I was whooping them, like for. And I only like played it for a couple hours,
Not knowing that you're a reoccurring player though. You've been coming back.
Yeah. they didn't know that, but yes, essentially like after that whole trip was over, I was like, what is this? And like my dad actually watched wrestling when he was younger too, so he's like, oh yeah, that's WWE, and like you can watch like Raw and stuff like that. And then from there, I was like, well, shit, I'm gonna have to watch Raw. And then from there, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in.
So your dad really put you on.
Kind of, yeah. He watched it as a kid, but he didn't watch it anymore. So he just like knew about it, of course. But the crazy thing is that so he worked for the Phoenix Convention Center, and he had the opportunity to get tickets to WrestleMania. That was in Glendale, Arizona. But it was the year before I got into wrestling. So he literally the year before he was like, "Hey, James, you want to go to WrestleMania?" And I was like, "No."
Oh.
And then literally the next year, I just became like a full on wrestling fan. And then my dad comes back and tells me that story, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I did that."
So this was time frame wise. I'm trying to think of what WrestleMania was. This? Do you remember the number?
It was.
You know who headlined?
I think it was. Was it 26? I think 26.
Okay. So who's that? 26. Is that like Ryback? Is that Ryback?
No, because I remember that WrestleMania. It was Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker.
Oh, you're tripping, bro.
Yeah, I think yeah.
You had. Oh,
I know. I hate myself like to this day.
Man and HBK.
Yeah, and like that one. Who else was in that Mania? Because I know they were in it. Maybe like Triple H or something like that. But
still, like
yeah,
legends.
Because I could have literally been a fan like a year before, but I was just like, no.
Have you had the opportunity to go to Mania since?
Yeah, I actually have. Both of the times that there's 2 times that I went. It was for 30 and 34, and that was out in New Orleans, and that was awesome. That was like the first time I've been to New Orleans, and that was pretty great. And then the one 2 years ago that was in LA. I got to go to that one with my dad, my brothers, and my cousin.
That's dope, man. So you fall in love with WWE, with wrestling, and then when do you actually decide, hey, I want to take some bumps?
Yeah. So I mean, it was kind of a progressive thing. So even during when I was a fan, I like did a couple extra steps. Like I wrestled a bunch in high school and a little bit in middle school because I was like, I watched pro wrestling yet I don't know anything about like actual amateur wrestling. So I was like, let me just do that. And I really loved doing that too. So that was kind of like a bit of a stepping stone to actually being able to train. And I did a little bit of things in Arizona to kind of like dip my toes in to see if it was right for me. And then once I kind of knew, I was like, oh yeah, I think I can do this. It was really not until I moved out here. And then of course after COVID was when I went to UCW to go to train there. Awesome school. And I've been training there for about 3 years now. So it's been great.
That's dope. What was the biggest misconception about pro wrestling that you found out?
That I found out, chops hurt quite a bit. It was one of the things that I never really personally thought of, but now I see it. Especially when I see it on TV, I'm just like, yeah.
Oh, there's some bumps. I'm like, oh my goodness, like is that dude JD?
Yeah.
Right now.
Oh my God, man.
But that's the thing about JD is that he always takes gnarly bumps.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. Like I got to give him credit where it's due. He takes some nasty bumps, man.
My son, he did a 2-day training with Manny Lemons. Are you familiar with Manny?
Yeah, I know Manny. Yeah.
Okay. So he did his youth program for a couple days, and the warm ups, the back bumps, the front bumps, and hitting the ropes. I see my son do it. I'm like, oh yeah, like that hurts. That hurts a lot.
Yeah, and it's definitely very different. Like once you get the conditioning is so different than what you could ever expect from like any other sport. Like you can't really like train for in-ring without being in-ring, because like you can run, you can do like other sports, but nothing can replicate like being in ring shape.
Mm-hmm. So when you get it, how many matches have you had?
Oof, I'd probably say about like 30 or something like that.
Dang. And you've only been doing it for about 2-3 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow. How active are you right now?
Not super active at the moment, just because I'm more focused on like doing a lot of my DJing stuff. But you know, when the time is right, I'll probably definitely be returning to the ring.
Yeah. Where do you want to take this thing? Like you got your hands in so many different things: the DJing, the game development, obviously pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to go with all this?
Yeah, I kind of had a bit of a, like, I guess not really like a come to Jesus moment, but just like a rethinking thing. And I know I really wanted to put a lot more like eggs in basket for like my DJ and stuff, because it's something that I'm really good at and I really love doing it. And then with pro wrestling, it definitely takes a toll, on your body. So it's a pretty short window. So I know kind of the time is right now for really to do it. But I thought that it would just be a good idea to really just hone in on the DJing stuff, something that I've like been able to hone for a couple years and really just see where I could take that. So, and I'll still have, pro wrestling. I still have some know-how to be able to hop back into it whenever I can. And the main thing is just staying in shape. And then when it comes to game design stuff, the main thing is just being able to release my own game. I think that's kind of been a good point. And then, if I can return to it, I'll probably still, keep trying to like hone my skills to be able to return to it someday.
What's your gimmick?
Gimmick? Oh, so my ring name is Jesse Dulé. That's the pop star of pro wrestling.
Okay. Jesse Dulé, pop star of pro wrestling.
Yes, sir.
How do you work the mic? You work the mic pretty good?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Got some good promos?
Yeah.
So who would you equate Jesse to?
Jesse to? I mean, probably if like Bruno Mars was like a wrestler. That's the best way I can put it.
Okay. All right. So, do you have any dream matches that you would want to do?
I mean, it's got to be, obviously I kind of hate him right now, but Kofi Kingston was like one of my like longtime favorite wrestlers.
New day sucks.
I know.
New day sucks.
Kofi, you're disappointing me, and I don't like that. I was rocking with Kofi Mania too. But yeah, Kofi Kingston would definitely be up there. I think if I had to go like from like past wrestlers, I mean like I ever had a match like Ricky Steamboat. He's like incredible worker. Kurt Angle's an incredible worker too. Just to kind of name a few. Maybe even like I really love Angelico. He's from AEW and he did some stuff with Lucha Underground. Dude's awesome. And then maybe like Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson or Sami Zayn would be great.
Oh man, yeah, not a bad choice. I'll take all those guys. People laugh at me when I say Ricochet, but
yeah. I got to give credit to Ricochet. He is very strong. Like it's kind of underrated. Like you see, he's done a lot of like suplex where he's just lifted dudes like straight from the ground. He's deceptively strong. That's the one thing that you kind of forget about, like through all the acrobatics and flips that he does. You kind of forget how strong he actually is.
He's strong and he works the ring really well. Now, obviously, Mike's skills aren't there. I think that's the one thing people are like, get him a manager, you know?
Give
my man a manager. But I think everything else, he's spot on, man. He gives you everything. I love the superhero gimmick. I loved Puma gimmick.
Prince
that
Puma,
he had.
yeah, he's great as Prince Puma.
What's your thoughts on Penta coming to WWE?
Oh, it's been great so far. Yeah, I know. I've watched him I started watching him originally in Lucha Underground. Dude was like awesome back then. So it's really cool to kind of see him make that step and really do a good job. Like especially I watched like the debut match with Chad Gable. That was great. His match with Dunn was also pretty good. I'm excited to see what he can do.
Now tonight is Royal Rumble. How do you have any plans? Will you watch it every year?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I plan on watching it tonight.
Who do you think's gonna win? Who you got in them, women and men?
Women and men. This one's kind of tough because there's like so many people like John Cena, CM Punk could do it. I'm probably rooting for CM Punk, but I think like it'd be cool to see John Cena do it, especially like he hasn't won a match in forever. And you know, it's like this whole retirement tour. It would be great to see him main event, even if it's against like Cody or especially I'd love to see like him against like Gunther, you know, because Gunther's crazy.
Yeah. And I think that's the title he hasn't got yet, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, it's like that. I think the Intercontinental Championship is another one too. But on the women's side, I probably have to go with Io Sky. Like, there's not really too many other picks I can think of.
I mean, there's always Charlotte, right? Like Charlotte.
Yeah.
I think Charlotte's kind of low hanging fruit. I think just because her and Rhea have a history, and their Mania match was so good.
It was great.
I would love to see them run it back. But it's also like, Charlotte, you've been away. Io's been working.
Yeah, I'd personally like to see Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton because it's like blonde versus blonde type thing. So they're really kind of similar in terms of like builds. So I think that'd be the more interesting matchup.
Oh, I'm all in on Tiffy, man. I think Tiffy is an incredible athlete. She works the mic great.
Oh, yeah.
And she blurs this line between heel and face. And it's really cool because it's like Rhea, right? Like for the longest time, you wanted Rhea to be a heel, but the world said no. The universe was like, that's our face. That's our baby face. We love her. We love mommy. Stop it. My boy Aiden, Pop Out Aiden, he on the Figure 4 podcast, he was like, it would be cool if Rhea entered the men's rumble just to eliminate Dom.
Oh,
if that happens tonight,
that's such a good idea.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be so great. Yeah, and that's another. Dominic Mysterio has been incredible. Like man, the type of heat that he gets, all the boos that he gets, it's wild. I'm like, man, that's unheard, like unreal.
So is Jesse heel or face?
Oh, Jesse's a heel all the way.
Really? Is that's so opposite from you? Because I feel like you're such a positive, happy, good energy guy. When you turn into Jesse, is that hard? No, not at all. I mean, main thing I think about is when I get in the ring, like I'm just trying to hurt you. Like I just get into that zone where I just got that mean streak, and I'm trying to hurt you when I'm in the ring for sure. Especially like if I'm gonna chop you, man. Like it's just about having that type of attitude, Like it's still in the fight, Even if I'm still a pop star, I'm trying to win. Like I'm trying to be the best. So I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna be me, and I don't really care about it.
Are you sick of podcasts that just interview people with the same questions and gossiping nonsense?
Are you tired of hearing about what's wrong with the world? Can you locate your nearest orphanage?
Who cooked the Last Supper?
R.I.P. Mr. Potato Head.
Seppuku Harakiri.
Where is Mavis Beacon?
This is Hoss.
And this is host Beefy.
Listen to the Beans and Rice podcast.
Exclusively in Braille and all streaming platforms.
Patent pending.
No pukesters helping me to the left, and no pukesters helping me to the right. Didn't need them then, don't need them now.
You are the ex-champion already.
Now this is the way, Tony and David, that you do the figure 4 leg lock.
You love wrestling.
Do you believe that Stone Cold Steve Austin is the greatest entertainer of all time?
Or maybe that Shawn Michaels is the sexiest man alive.
Or did you have a thing for Sonny from the years of 1994 to 1996 like I did?
Did you know Yokozuna isn't even Japanese?
If you could count the number of dimples on Rikishi's ass, this podcast is for you.
Follow us, the Figure 4 Podcast on Instagram, at Figure 4 Podcast. And check us out on YouTube.
Do it.
Tell your punk friends about us.
Yeah.
If you're a sports athlete looking for a mouthguard to protect your pearly whites, look no further than All Sports Mouthguards.
All Sports Mouthguards, located in West Jordan, Utah. Come visit us, 1385 West, 9000 South in West Jordan, Utah. We offer high quality, made in the USA, custom molded and custom designed mouthguards.
Hey, yo, you're probably listening to the Unrestricted Podcast with Dre Rocca. We are? No, they are. Yeah, oh, right.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the real Ruby. You can catch me and Fonzie and the G Daddy Funk on Lake Talk 801 Podcast.
Yeah, but I think you have to come in more smoother, more funnier. Like, yeah, and they could catch us on the Lake Talk 801 podcast.
Yeah, y'all can catch us on the Lake Talk 801.
Yeah, and be like, and yeah, man, hey, and they could catch people like me, the real Ruby, and people like you, Fonzie, and people like him, G Daddy Funk,
wow, that's
on the
a
Lake
lot
Talk
of people.
801. Who cares?
What did he say?
Huh?
I didn't hear him.
I don't know, but this probably should be the ad.
Are these on?
Catch a new episode every Monday on all streaming platforms. The Lake Talk 801. Tune in now.
Have you tapped in with Manny and DCW?
Yeah. I've tapped in them with a few times. Not to do too many like DCW shows or anything like that. But yeah, me and him like know each other. I've known him for quite a bit. He does some good work.
Yeah. I love the work that they're doing, and I think in Utah pro wrestling, we need more support there. We need more support.
Yeah, absolutely.
WWE arguably is the biggest thing in sports entertainment right now, right? It's like UFC, and obviously Super Bowl's coming around the corner, but it's like UFC and WWE. Obviously, those are two brother and sister companies underneath the parent company of TKO, and the world is on pro wrestling high right now, and there's no reason why our local guys shouldn't be getting a rub off of that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially like when they have like when WWE especially comes to town, you know, you see hundreds of people show out. So you know that there's a lot of wrestling fans in the state. It's just a matter of bringing them into all the promotions that we have locally, because there's a lot of great talent here. And it's just people just don't know about it. So the main thing is just getting the word out.
I just got put onto a few of them at the last AEW show that was here, because there was a couple dark matches, and I'm like around, and their family's like right next to me. I'm like, oh, this guy's local? And they're like, yeah. Whoa, I didn't have no idea. That's dope. It's really cool to see the growth too from these guys,
absolutely,
and girls. Do you see yourself staying in Utah long?
Yeah, I'd say for the time being, it'd be nice to, you know, have an actual like home base to really just focus on my business and just be able to cultivate like a new network for myself.
What's the DJ career been like out here?
It's been pretty great. It's definitely like what I never could have imagined like it would have been like when I was younger, and just like being a little bedroom DJ, just like, you know, messing around with stuff. And I remember at the time I was thinking like, oh, I'd be good with just doing like one wedding, and probably by this point I've done at least like close to 50 or something like that, like over these past couple years. So a completely like unexpected thing to do, especially just like having something during college, and that took up a lot of my time during college. So like a lot of my college career is kind of tied to, you know, kind of my come up as a DJ. So it's been really special for me.
When did you find the passion to start DJing?
So that was like also when I was around like 16. So I'd say like 16 was when my dad's friend was the one that introduced it to me because he was DJing for a long time. And then I basically just practiced for years and years and years until I kind of felt like I was able to do some stuff. I did like a couple little like graduation parties here and there back in Arizona, but it really wasn't until I moved out here that I started to actually like go out and do more events and try to like focus on more doing like the corporate stuff, doing the wedding stuff, and then some of like the special events like the yoga event that we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm. That's the story that is so common with DJs is I train wreck in my room. That way I don't train wreck on the dance floor and in the nightclub or at the wedding. And it's really cool to see that you're like, nah, I spent some years in the bedroom before I actually went out and got it, you know. That's one thing that I always tell young DJs is like, take the time to learn. Like the money will come. It becomes a cool fad when you see a lot of people on the TikToks and things like that, and they make money off of this, right? But it's also like this, you're also stepping into a culture, right? It's no different from stepping into the pro wrestling world. You're stepping into a culture, and you got to respect the culture.
Exactly.
Respect the culture of DJing. You spent the time, you learned, and now how do you feel like you have grown as a DJ?
Yeah, in a lot of ways. I think it's just the way that I like look at and how I approach like music has changed so much because a lot of it's just like geared towards events. So now a lot of it is just like psychological, you know, like thinking which song works in which positions, where to put certain things, how to kind of create an overall vibe has definitely changed me a lot over the years. And that like type of process has changed a lot as I've like done events and as I've like seen my successes, seen my failures, and then be able to just go back, literally like go back into the bedroom or go back into the house and be like, okay, like such and such happened. Now we take that feedback and we bring it back and bring it into something constructive to be able to like make events better in the future.
What's your family think about this career of DJing?
They like it. They've been like really supportive with me for years, and they're always getting my merch and everything. So I mean they're major contributors to like my like style and like my specialization because like my dad was big like hip hop guy, so I listened to hip hop, you know, all the time from like the early like 90s and 80s and stuff like that. And then my mom is a big like 80s pop girly, yeah. And so she was always playing like, you know, like Keith Sweat, Prince, and all those guys just around the house. So that was like what I came up on, was just knowing like 70s, 80s, 90s music, and then all the stuff from Stay. So it's kind of just like taking all of their influence on me growing up, and then bringing all the stuff that I know, and then kind of creating something of my own.
Have you had a chance to throw your own show yet?
Nah, but we'll be doing this sometime in the future. I know in the future I'd love to be able to host my own like discotheque, because that's like disco's like my baby. So that would be great to be able to do something themed around that, maybe making it like some type of a charity event, to be able to do something really cool, but then also like provide something for the community.
Yeah, so my son, he was in the hospital all last week. He was at primaries. He's battling pancreatitis right now. It's my 6-year-old son. It's gnarly. But while we were there at the hospital, we got a lot of help and support from the Ronald McDonald House. And you always see, when you go to McDonald's, you always see the Ronald McDonald make a charitable donation. And for me, I was like, well, McDonald's is the biggest company in the world. Like, why do they need my donation? Why don't they just donate? And you don't realize that the Ronald McDonald House runs off of donations.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, they do.
And me being firsthand, living this experience of the Ronald McDonald House, I was like, I want to do something for them. And it's not even about money. It's about they needing toiletries. They needing baby products. They're needing family stuff, because there's families that are literally living at the hospital while their child is getting care.
Yeah.
So when you said charity, I'm like, yeah, that's the number one charity that I want to work with this year. And I also want to do something with the road home.
Yeah, that's cool. My mom and my sister actually did some work for Ronald McDonald, actually, up in Oregon. And yeah, there's a lot, like tons of people that come in that you're like, man, like, yeah, you definitely like need to get that money for like different like marginalized groups to be able to help them out. And even like there was a time where Ronald McDonald even helped out with my auntie and uncles when their baby had like had a couple like birth issues and stuff like that. So it's really incredible to be able to like support those type of organizations that really need it, really need those donations.
Yeah. Is there any charities that you currently work with?
Not at the moment. I did a couple work events for like Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Utah, so I'm definitely like looking forward to hopefully working more with them and also donating to them as well.
Yeah. You did the yoga event. Have you ever done yoga?
Yeah, I have. I've done it a couple times.
See, it made me nervous. My cousin, she was one of the ones that orchestrated that thing, and she's like, "Come out, do yoga." I'm like, I don't know if I can do any of those poses. You know what I mean? She's like, we start off very basic. I'm like, all right. So I think I'm gonna try a yoga class here soon.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, it's one of the things I kind of just try it on a whim, and I really like it. It's nice to do like on occasions.
Yeah. Have you tapped into the DJ community here? You working with any DJs?
Yeah. I'm thankful that there's such a great community of DJs out here that, especially on the event scene, where it's a really unique market, because a lot of these DJs like collaborate with each other and really build off of each other to really just make everybody better. And that's really great. So I've had a chance to work with guys like DJ Cam Reeve, Don Woodbury, Russ Powell, Mark from Swiss Mix, Brady Mac, just to name a few.
You said Bernie Mac?
Brady Mac.
Oh, I thought you said Bernie Mac. I was
like,
look at this motherfucker. My favorite comedian of all time.
Man, that'd be great. But yeah, just to name a few of those guys, they've been like big influences on me. And then I'm also recently D Smooth Deshaun has been like a great guy for me to be around, great influence.
That's cool, man. Have you ever thought about creating your own like DJ collective? Like, obviously you can't do all the gigs, right? But yeah, creating a smaller team maybe?
Yeah, at the moment I haven't. I've kind of always just been doing it solo. So for me at the moment, it doesn't seem like there will be any other Afroliciouses walking around here.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll change in the future. Maybe we do like a multi-op, but I'm thankful enough to at least have like a network to be able to reach out and like outsource, like, hey, if I can't get something, I could send it to somebody else. But we'll see how things change in the future. I
look at your story and I see you do a lot of mashups, which is really dope. And some of the mashups, I'm like, man, this is fire. Like, look at my man over here killing it.
Thank you.
Do you want to step more into the production side of music?
I think it's going to be a pretty natural like progression for me. I think I've already kind of stepped into that, because especially a lot of the mashups that I do right now, it's a lot of like stem manipulation, taking certain drums out, taking bass, and then moving things around. So I feel like I'm already kind of on track with that. I wish I could have been a better like producer to be able to start from scratch, but I think in due time there's gonna be a time where I'm gonna be able to step more into that producer role to be able to do some more stuff. But at the moment, I love doing mashups. It's great, and I see myself doing maybe getting like hundreds and hundreds, maybe even like 300, something like that. So the plan is just to kind of keep going on making mashups, because it's what I love to do.
Yeah, I think your love of disco and your love with hip hop, a lot of the hip hop took from the disco. So I think you can just create something really dope. And for me, looking at you, I'm like, okay, he's got the DJing down. He just dropped the merch. Is an album the next thing? A project that we can get on the DSPs? Like, that would be cool.
Yeah. I've been trying my best to work on my pen game too. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I definitely don't see that's out of the question, whether it be an album, EP, or even a mixtape. Maybe a couple little songs here and there. I think it's definitely within reach.
No boundaries for Afrolicious. I love that.
No sir.
Everything that you've talked about, you're like, I like that. I'm gonna try it. Let me do it. Like, that's the inspiration that I feel like more people need, because I feel like a lot of people they stop themselves because of what other people will either think or what other people will say. And I get this a lot with the podcast community, because some people are like, I want to start a podcast, but there's already a million out there.
Yeah.
It's like, but there's not a podcast with you in it. You know what I mean?
That's good. That's a good point.
Yeah, if we all had this mentality of there's already somebody doing it, we would never do something.
That's true.
There's already millions of restaurants, but they're not your restaurant. There's already millions of DJs, but they're not you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to try something, try it. And who cares what somebody says and thinks? You know what I mean? The scary part is that you might be really good at that thing, and you might be holding yourself back.
Yeah, or just you don't even know that you're good at it just because you never even tried it.
Bingo. Same thing I tell my son all the time. My son, he went to the boxing gym and he was boxing for a while, and I'm like, dude, try it. Let's just do it. And he got a fight. He tried it, and now he could check that off his list. You know what I mean? The next thing he tried the wrestling. He tried pro wrestling. He had his first and second trainings. Took some bumps. Now he can, if he wants to go back. Now he has some training. He could go back and maybe even get a match. And he checked that off. And now it's like, okay, now you want to try mixed martial arts? You want to try some jiu-jitsu? You want to try, this thing? That's the next thing in line. But if we just don't do it, we're never going to check those boxes off in life. And let me tell you what, this life thing goes by so quick.
Dude, yeah. It's crazy. I'm already like 20. I'm only like 24, and it feels like just time just flew by, and it's just been like a breeze.
Yeah, just wait until you have kids.
Yeah.
It goes 10 times faster.
Yeah.
Like, I look at my son, I'm like, man, you're already in 6th grade. You're about to, next thing you know, you're going to be graduating high school. Next thing you know, you're going to be 24 at the U of U doing something. You know?
Yeah.
Like, time goes by fast, and I just want people to really understand that, like, anything you want to do in life, you can go and do. There's no more gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Not in 2025.
Yeah, it's a lot of like the perceived gatekeepers. There's kind of like that like inner feeling that you have, like where you're kind of like blocking yourself. That's usually a lot of like the main obstacles that you got to overcome with a lot of, because that was the same thing with me, where I was just like thinking, oh, I'm never gonna be able to do this, or that self-doubt talk is a big like stopping point or roadblock for people to be able to do what they want to do or what they think they can't do.
What do you want to do next?
I think for me, it's just going to be becoming a full-time DJ and really just being able to do a lot more weddings, being able to do a lot more corporate events, and then hopefully being able to travel, whether it be internationally or within the nation. That's going to be one of my big goals coming up.
I think the last time I seen you travel, you did a wedding in Arizona.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Blake Music, one of my really good buddies, getting married. I used to play volleyball with him back in high school. Fabulous guy. And so that was the first time I got to go back to Arizona to be able to like go home and be able to do something. So it really meant a lot to me to be able to do that.
How did it go?
Oh, it was great, man. Definitely worked hard on making it happen, but everything went out great. So I'm happy to do it.
That's awesome. So you traveled. You mentioned that you went to New York as a kid. Where have you traveled? Like, have you traveled internationally yet? Have you and the family went out of the country?
No. I'm the only one who hasn't done it. Like, it's crazy. Like, they've all been to like Europe, Paris and London and all that. So I'm one of the like odd persons out on that end. But in terms of like trips, we do have a trip going to Cancun. So that's at least like, I think that's really going to be my first time that's going to be out of the country, going out to Mexico. So that'd be great come this summer. But I'm overdue for like a trip going to like Japan or the UK or something like that. That's something I definitely want to do.
Japan or the UK? What draws you out there? What is it that you want to go see?
For Japan, I mean, I got to see some Japanese wrestling when I'm out there for sure. But I know one of my great grandparents is from Okinawa, so we have a couple like little draws to Japan. It's really just kind of the culture that I'd really love to be able to see for myself.
Heck yeah, man, that's awesome. I want to go to Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. I want to go out there. It's so green and beautiful.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm a fan of wet weather too. Like, I love it when it rains. So yeah, I think Ireland is the place I want to go check out eventually.
Yeah, that'd be great.
My daughter's only 4 years old, and she's on this kick right now. It's really weird, where she'll put her shoes on and she'll be like, "Dad, Mom, let's go get on the plane." Like, she's always wanting to go on a plane, so I got to plan something to take her on a plane so she knows. Well, maybe not. I don't know. These planes are dropping like crazy right now.
Yeah, they're dropping like flies right now, so maybe give it a couple months or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Man, there was the Boeing issue, and everybody was talking about Boeing, and it kind of went away. And then now it seems like there's been like 4 different incidences this year.
Yeah, it's just awful. I'm not entirely sure what's been going on there, but I mean, it's awful to see.
Seen the video of Philly, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's scary.
Yeah,
it's really scary to see, one, a plane go down, but 2, like the people on the ground too. You got to think about, like, they didn't see it coming.
Yeah. It's a lot of it just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Prayers to all the families. That this has happened to, and yeah, it's just an awful occurrence.
When you going back home?
Going back home to Arizona, I don't really know. Hopefully sometime when it's not hot over there. Then because a lot of my family lives out in Oregon, so that's also kind of like a second home.
What city?
Portland.
Really?
Yeah.
What area? Because I lived in Portland for 10 years.
It's
because I lived in Southeast and I lived in the North Side and Northeast Portland.
I'm not too good on my Oregon geography, but I mean they're pretty close to like downtown. Like I think like Beaverton or like. They're over, like they live pretty near like MLK.
Oh, okay. No,
like
that's Portland. So
yeah,
that's more of the downtown area. That's
yeah.
Okay. I remember they just put back in the 90s. They put the first Nike outlet was out there. 'Cause have you been to the Nike campus out there yet?
Have I? I don't think I have. Because that's the one. Is that the one in? Oh, that's in Beaverton. Oh, yeah. I've been to like the store that's out there, but campus, I don't think I've been to the campus yet. I've heard good things about it though.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
They if you have a friend that works on the campus, you can get an employee store like ID card.
Oh.
You can go and shop at the actual like factory like they have there, the campus. And their campus, there's something really really dope about what they have there. Like they just did a whole campaign of, because I think it was the 30th anniversary of the Jordan 1s, I believe.
Oh,
or when he got fined.
Yeah.
And they were going around campus. They were finding people, like fake finding people that had Jordan 1s on. Because it was back in the day, you couldn't wear red on the court. I think it was.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I forget.
And they banned his, like they had to pay $10,000 for every time he stepped on the court with the Jordan 1s. And Jordan wasn't even like a big player at the time. When his rookie year came around, he wasn't a big player, but Nike, they bet on him and they bet right.
Yeah.
When's the last time you bet?
I don't even know. Probably never.
I guess you bet on yourself, right? DJing.
Hey, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So I guess it would be that then.
Yeah. I think people need to take more chances on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary though.
Yeah. It's not an easy thing to do. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you so you're DJing, you got the gaming stuff, you want to go and travel the world, you want to go check out Japan. Do you find time for any women in this thing?
Oh, not at the moment, man. I keep myself pretty busy, so we'll see how things happen in the future. But right now I'm just gonna be pretty career focused.
I feel you, man. Stay focused, man. That's one thing, man. When I was 24, man, I was out here. Well, I was already a dad by now, but by then. But the 20s, man, live it up, man. Go travel.
Yeah.
DJ. Like, there's nothing holding you back. Take advantage of every opportunity you that you get, and then also create your own opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the disco parties that you want to do, man, make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like eventually, I want to throw my own wrestling show.
Oh,
and I want to incorporate kind of like what Fourth Rope is doing. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
No, I'm not actually.
So West Side Gun, he's a part of a group called Griselda. It's a rap group.
West Side Gun?
Yeah, you know West Side Gun.
Yeah.
So he started his own promotion called Fourth Rope.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's dope. You know Zilla?
Yeah, I know Zilla.
Umaga's son?
Yeah.
So he is their heavyweight champion right now.
Oh,
on this new promotion.
Oh, wow.
And West Side Gun, he started it, and it's really dope because he incorporates hip hop with wrestling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's
like
really cool.
He has performers, and then like in between matches, it's really dope.
That's cool.
And I would love to do that because we have tons of great hip hop artists here in Utah, Salt Lake City specific, and I think it would be dope to incorporate the guys that do the performing in the ring, and then also the guys and girls that are musical artists, and bring the worlds together. I would love to do something like that.
Oh, yeah, that'd be super dope. That'd be so dope.
Yeah, I won't get in the ring, though. I might get up there and talk
I know. I feel you got to do a little something. Give somebody a little punch or like a chair shot or something like that. I think you could do something like that.
Maybe I'll be a manager for somebody. I gotta find the right athlete.
Yeah.
There's this dude, I don't know if you know CJ Frost. Have you heard of him?
No,
so he's a pro wrestler out of DCW. Because I went to their last show earlier last month, and he was really good. I like the way he worked the mic. There was a couple guys where I'm like, man, these guys got talent.
Yeah,
they can work it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll shop around, see who I can manage.
Yeah, I think that'd be good for you. Yeah,
I'll be an MVP or something.
Yeah,
gimmick,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I think I would want to be a heel. I get under these people's skin.
I think you'd be awesome as a heel and good talker, good mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And be able to like get up on the A-brand and be like, doing all that stuff. Yeah.
Give me your popcorn, kid.
Yeah.
Popcorn, nah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, what's the socials? Where can we follow you, find you? Where can we get the new merch? You just dropped the new merch line?
Yes, sir. Yeah. A lot of that stuff can be found on my website. So that's just djafrolicious.com. And then, of course, best place to follow me would just be my Instagram. That's DJ_Afrolicious.
You know what suck is if we find out that the fro was fake.
No. Don't try to check it. Don't test it. I wouldn't appreciate it.
That's one thing. Don't touch people's hair, all right? Keep your hands to yourself. How about that? But all right, so DJ Afrolicious, pretty much everywhere you can just Google you and you can find everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully later this year, hopefully we get some music production. We get some singles maybe next year or something.
Oh yeah. I got some really cool projects in the works that I'm really excited about. So a lot of it's gonna be like music and song related. So just stay tuned for that.
Cool, man. Well, anything else that we missed that you want to touch on?
No, not that I can think of.
Cool, brother. Well, I appreciate you coming through. Make sure you go give him a follow, give him a share, a like, all that good stuff. Remember, it's free to show love. If you're not a part of the Patreon family, what are you doing? Go support. You know, I got the $3 tier where you just show love because you want to support this show. But we also got the 5, the 10, and it goes up from there. So go check it out, patreon.com/DreRocka, DRERAWKA. If you want to buy some merch, buy a shirt, t-shirt, a hoodie, I got you covered. Allrock.com, ALLRAWK.com. Follow me on Instagram at DreRocka, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Have the day you deserve. Always protect your light. We're out. Peace. Feel good?
Yeah.
Can you hear yourself?
Yeah, I can hear me.
Go. You need to drop the seat. I know you're a taller guy. You can drop the seat if you need.
Okay, yeah.
I usually don't have tall people on the podcast. Usually it's like the shorter guys. So
yeah.
But what are you, like 6'2"?
I'm 6'4". That's minus the afro though. So
Jeez,
it's
okay.
yeah.
7 foot with the afro.
Shoot, I ain't gonna say all that, but like 6'6", 6'7", probably, give or take.
Okay.
My hair is long right now. I gotta get it cut soon.
I was debating, do I fro mine out so we could be the fro bros? But
hell yeah, I'd love that.
But then I was like, man, I have another pod coming in after you. I'm gonna have to pick it out again. And mine doesn't go straight up. Mine kind of falls now.
Yeah.
But 7th grade, man, mine was banging.
Really? That big?
Round, man.
Yeah, back in 7th grade, like that was when I got my afro actually, and it was like super big. That was because I didn't have like a good cut at the time, so it was like freaking massive. It was crazy. So imagine like how it is right now. It was probably like even like 2 inches bigger. It was crazy.
In Arizona, having the fro though, was that a lot? Being so hot?
No, honestly. I mean, because I always kept it pretty well maintained. I was picking it like every single day. I still have like the same pick that I had from when I first had it, like for 10 years.
There you go.
I kept on it pretty good, so I didn't really have any issues with it.
There you go. Cool, man. Well, let's go ahead and get this thing started.